What's up, guys? Thanks for checking out my channel and watching my video. Today I am making something from my childhood and my adult life. It's yeast bread. This is my mom's actual recipe card that I found in her recipe card holder. We grew up on this stuff. It's not like traditional breads where you have to throw stuff together, let it rise and knead and knead and knead and build this gluten structure, blah, blah, blah. This stuff you just basically mix together, let it rise, punch it down, pour it in a pan, let it rise again, put it in the oven. There's no kneading at all, hardly. We love this stuff. It's slice it, put some butter on it, put it under the broiler, toast it a little bit. It's so good. You can actually, it's versatile too. You can spread it out and put cinnamon and raisins in it, roll it up, make a cinnamon bread. You can do other kind of anything with this stuff. If I had to classify it, I would say it's almost like a brioche bread. It's rather on the sweet side. The crumb is kind of cake-like, but it's so delicious. Give it a try. You're gonna like it. It's worth the little bit of time you have to invest to make it. One thing for the way it makes your house smell, but again, the taste is amazing. You guys enjoy it. Please let me know if you try it. I would love to hear. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Into our warm milk, we're gonna add 1/2 a cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of salt, and 1 pack of yeast. I do not use the fast rise, I just use the active dry. And then we're going to stir that up. And proof that yeast. We're going to make sure that yeast is still alive. And what will happen, just let this set for a little bit and you'll start to see bubbles on the top where the yeast is living. If you do not see those bubbles and this stuff doesn't foam, your yeast is dead. You want to start over. Don't waste your time. While the yeast is proofing, I put about 4 or 6 cups of water in a pot, and I'm going to turn that on high and get it to a boil. We're going to use this to keep our dough warm and let it rise on our first rise. All right, in your mixer with the hook attachment on, we're going to put our yeast mixture. And it has proofed, so make sure all of that's sugar and everything is out of it. We're going to put 2 eggs and 6 tablespoons of oil. Into that, we're going to add about 1.5 cups of flour. So 1.5 cups. And let that mix for 5 minutes. All right, that's been running about 5 minutes. We're going to add more flour. You want a total of about 5 to 6 cups. So I already have 1.5 cups. We're going to add 2 more. That's 3.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. Get that mixed up. That's 4.5, 5.5. And that makes 6. Now we just want this to mix. We're not going to really build up gluten like on most yeast doughs. All right, so we're good and mixed. We're going to raise it up. Scrape it off like that. And that's what your dough should look like. Now, to get it ready for the first rise, all I'm going to do is take vegetable oil and coat the top. A piece of plastic wrap. And I'll actually give that a shot with vegetable oil as well. Put that right over the top. All right. So now, that pot of boiling water that we had on the stove, I put a rack on top of it, turn the heat off. I set my bowl on top of that. And we're going to insulate that with kitchen towels. Just like that. And let that set for 2 hours to rise. All right, so it's been 2 hours. We're going to take the insulation off. This is what you have. It's pretty much risen to the top of the bowl. It's really puffy, and we're ready to put that into the pans. So we're going to take this off the stove. Now, the water's already cooled off, so for our second rise, we want to turn the heat back on, get it hot again while we're putting it in the pans. All right, we're going to take the plastic wrap off. It should come off easy since you sprayed it. Kind of lay it to the side because you're going to use it again. I use a spatula because the dough is sticky. And punch it down. All right. With some bench flour, we're going to turn this out. Again, this is not like traditional bread dough, which is like the texture of Play-Doh. This is a lot softer. Okay. Sprinkle a little flour on the top. Make sure your hands are good. And we're just going to kind of coat this with flour. I use a bench scraper because that makes it a lot easier. Okay, cut it in half. No crazy kneading or anything like that. Shape it into a loaf. And gently lay it in the pan. Just like that. Now my pans are regular loaf pans, but I put a piece of parchment paper in there to prevent sticking. Now this is the point where you could do cinnamon bread or raisin bread, whatever. Okay, your bread is in the pan. All right, my water got hot again, came back to the boil. I'm gonna take it off the heat so it won't boil. My 2 loaf pans with bread in it. We're gonna set it right on top of the pot on the rack. Again, it's gonna be our heat source. I do this, I always spray the top with olive oil, with vegetable oil, just because, I don't know why, I just do. We're gonna reuse our greasy plastic wrap from earlier, lay that over the top in case it sticks. Put your insulation on. At this point, since this is going to rise for about 25 minutes, I go ahead and turn my oven on 425 and let it get hot. See you in 25 minutes. So the bread has been on a second rise now. It's about 25 minutes later. Our oven is preheated at this point. We're going to put it on the middle shelf. Delicately. Oh, make sure that doesn't flip. And then set another timer for 25 minutes. So we have about 10 minutes left in the bread baking. If you could smell how good the house smells at this point, it's crazy. It's just the best smell. But we got about 10 minutes left. Hot. Let those cool completely. Or until warm and you can't take the smell anymore and you have to put a butter on a slice. I know you're supposed to let bread cool, but oh my God. That's the stuff.